the L Bar has all types of seminars often, and one of the seminars we have from time to time discusses ways how you can make your semen taste better. There are actually certain things you can do to change the taste so that your partner can actually find it more enjoyable. So, every now and then when you guys get a chance, go over to our website at www.thelbar.com, take a look under our events section, and see if there are any events out there that, may apply to you at the time to help you just keep the sparks flaming in your bedroom. Or maybe just get some, extra knowledge about a few things that maybe you thought you were a pro at and uncovered, hey, yeah, that's some more new information that I wasn't aware existed. James, I was thinking exactly when you were saying, now from the woman's standpoint, when you were talking about the things that are issues from men, I want to say that I think one of the biggest issues we have, and I think Dorothy will probably agree with me on this, is that, women complain all the time about how men take their hands and push their heads down. It's like when she's performing the act, she feels like she's in control, and he's trying to aid her a little bit and help her out. And then he kind of just shoves her head down so she's just gagging. And one of the biggest complaints we have is with that because already a lot of women experience the gag reflex, and right. They don't know exactly what to do about it, and that it's killing them, it's making them feel like they want to puke. So I'm just throwing that out there. Dorothy, what do you think? Am I telling the truth?
Yes, you are. I agree. That is the most horrifying experience, I think. There are a lot of it because it's like again, it goes back to, and I think a lot of women do it just because it's like the thing to do. I don't think, and you have to be comfortable enough with yourself.
I'm glad you say that, Dorothy, because if you can hold that thought, because the client that I was discussing the whole issue with this morning about, I said the very exact same thing. I said, I feel really that you're probably taking his comment really close to heart because there are some issues with you feeling comfortable about yourself. And we've got to get over these hurdles to get you liberated sexually and feeling comfortable about your own body and what feels good to you and knowing what feels good to you before you can even give pleasure to somebody else and let them give pleasure to you. So that's a huge deal that, we've got this whole mental block because we're giving it because, hey, we love the person and they might like it, but there's no, and if I can be a little blunt, and y'all, I'm going to switch gears here, there's no, oh, my God, I love giving fucking head, and I'm going to give some fucking head right now. It needs to become at a point where you enjoy giving just as much or more than your partner enjoys receiving from you.
Right.
So, what do you think about that, Dorothy?
Right, I agree. I think, again, it goes back to being mental. And people don't understand. And I read this one time, and I thought, and it's just so true. I instantly got it. With the biggest sex organ being the brain, and that's where it all starts. You have to be comfortable enough with yourself before, like you said, you can give pleasure to anybody else. And until you're comfortable enough in your own skin, you can't even think about giving pleasure in that way to somebody else. And
James, I'm sorry, go ahead.
And sometimes that takes a long time.
Mm-hmm.
Because for
women it takes many, many years. And I think, as I was sharing this morning, is that, we grow up saying, hey, don't kiss him on the first date. Hey, don't you have sex with him. Hey, don't take gifts from him because if you take gifts from him, he's going to want something else. And in return, and so we take all of these years of our teenage years and we finally get married or we finally have this really, really good relationship with somebody that we want to be intimate with, but you've got all of that stuff pounded in your head. And guys, all they ever hear during those very same years is, oh, my gosh, she's hot. Go get her. Go get her. Oh, she's hot. Let's get it. So we've got two opposite things going on. And until women become comfortable in their own skin, which lots of times, Dorothy, like you said, takes a very long time, then there's no even having a real good orgasm. You know, studies show that most women don't enjoy an orgasm until they're like 29, 30 years old. That's serious. And those are some serious issues that the L-Bar is working to tackle out there. I want to ask you, James, about men, because I think men don't give. Some of the complaints I hear about women is that they always want. We feel men always want us to give, but they don't want to give back. And then if they give back, they don't really know what they're doing. And a lot of men seem to think they know what they're doing. And I know that some of the most difficult clients that some of the L-Bars face sometimes are generally men, especially when it comes to the adult novelty toy line. Men are just like, feel, hey, I don't need the toy to enhance anything in the bedroom. I'm a soldier. And it's the same way when it comes to giving oral pleasure. They seem to think, hey, I got this thing under the wraps. Why do you think that? I mean, I don't know if it's in your age group, 2029, and we had a survey that we did that all across the board, out of all of the surveyors we had, all different age groups, everybody except for one person responded that they enjoy giving and receiving oral pleasure. The only person outside of that said something different said they had only experienced receiving at that point, but they were interested in learning more about giving. So what do you think about men who, I don't know, they say, I don't think guys talk about it. Maybe guys don't talk about it, but we seem to find that men do not want to give back the favor.
Well, I mean, my personal thoughts on that is, I guess for a guy, and from a guy's point of view, there's a lot more hardware, I guess, that we've got to think about down there. I mean, you're looking at, I mean, unless the guy's into, I guess, receiving, hand gestures while while he's receiving oral pleasure. I mean, you're looking at entertaining the shaft plus helmet. I mean, honestly, that's what you're looking at. Now, and from me, I know I've had different girls. They want a lot of clitoral action, or some of them like the I don't know if I call it the A spot and the U spot. I'm not sure what you guys call it, but parts right below the clitoris. And then I've even had one girl that liked me getting way up in there, with different things. So there's a lot more, and there's a lot more, I guess, available. There's a lot more to do. And the other thing is, I mean, I guess depending on the environment, I mean, you're down and dirty up in there, and girls typically, I know and like you were talking about earlier, they were having a gag reflex because the guy was pushing down. They don't really have to do too much, below a certain point. I mean, they only really have to go about halfway down. I mean, I know, to entertain a girl.
There, right, because those are the areas where it's most sensitive for you anyway.
Right. So, I mean, for a gentleman to try to entertain a woman, I mean, he's got to get up in there, and that's and depending on how her environment is down there, I mean, it might be kind of scary, I mean, if I don't, I'm serious, like, I mean,
I'm puking.
Exactly.
So what you're trying to say is wash it up and keep it clean.
Right. I mean, everybody's going to have and I guess the truth of the matter is, once we start getting to this point, once you start getting to the point of where oral sex becomes an issue, it's time to sit down and have a talk. I mean, it's time to sit down and say, okay, I enjoy this, I don't enjoy this. This is where we stand. I mean,
and James, this is a top point, folks out there. If you have any type of intimacy going on in your relationship, why is it that people cannot communicate? You should be able to sit down and talk with that person just as plain as you're sitting down and laughing at the sitcom on TV about what feels good, what doesn't feel good, what you don't like. Don't do it again. That hurts. Or, hey, give me more of that. That feels good, honey. Why is it that you have to be offended if someone says, you're getting better? This feels good. Do more of that.
I agree. I absolutely agree with that.
Especially coming up to at Valentine's Day, to start the communication line. If you don't have one, open it up and just, sit side by side. Get comfortable, ladies, with having the lights on and exploring somebody and letting him explore it. You're just going to enjoy your lovemaking so much better, right?
I mean, I would agree with that,
Now, quickly, James, because we've got only a little bit of time left, I want to ask you about swallowing. Is it a big deal if a girl swallows or not?
Well,
what
yes
do you
and
guys
no.
want to see? What do you want to see?
$1 million question.
Well, here's the thing. I I don't want to get all graphic about it, but you've got to stop. When all right, well, when you're spitting, you got to stop. You're spitting it out. It's like you've stopped. All right, you've stopped. Now, for me, I love it when a girl swallows. Especially, and it doesn't even have to be this way, but the image and the idea is clear. You're sucking it out like a straw.
I was going to say to you, I had a guy tell me, he said, I had this girl, she slurped like she was slurping up a straw, and I was in love.
Right. Well, think about it. The guy, the idea is to imitate, I guess, vaginal sex. And with your, with oral sex, you can do so much more. You have more control. And when a guy is coming, he's still stroking. He's still moving. Now he'll eventually reach a part where he has to stop. Because he just can't. He can't move anymore. Or at least, most guys are like that.
Well,
and
I don't mean to cut you guys off, but we've got
go ahead.
only a few seconds left. You guys have been great panelists. Dorothy, what you see is what you get. Brandon, you were awesome. Thank you for joining us, James, here on the L-Bar as we discuss oral sex, Taboo or Taboo. And I want you guys to make your own decision. It seems the consensus is that oral sex is more to do, what we found. We hope that you go home and enjoy with your lover, especially coming up to Valentine's Day. Drop by the L-Bar, www.thelbar.com. Check out some of our events. Shop in our online store. In fact, we've got a discount for you, 1Q10 off. That's the promo code. You get 10% off when you use 1Q10 OFF as your promo code. Thanks for joining us today, and join us again on our very next Blog Talk radio show when we talk about what a man really wants. That'll be on January 31st, same time, same place. Have a great one, folks.